You know how some people can walk into a room and you can instantly like tell that they have a big energy to them, or they attract a lot of attention, right? People who walk into a room and they instantly just take control of that room with their presence, right? That's because, at least to my understanding, that energy of self-confidence that they exude comes from their own self-respect, how much they respect themselves, and how because of that self-respect that they have for themselves, they're able to attract the energy that they want towards them, right? These people who are able to create a lot of aura or energy into any room that they go in, able to go into any room and instantly like establish their presence, is because they view themselves as a prize, right? They view themselves as a prize, and they know that they're valuable, right? People who don't really exude a lot of energy or presence, right, tend to not have a lot of self-worth, or maybe they don't feel like super good about themselves, whether it be because of past instances or maybe something someone said to them, right? But people who do have a lot of self-respect tend to view themselves as a prize. And I realized that more and more during my journey, just how my own view of myself has shifted, right? How I view the people that interact with me, right? Before, I was so hell-bent on, seeking validation from others, whether it was from when I was a kid, seeking validation from my parents because I didn't have, I'm going to be pretty vulnerable here. I didn't really have like that warmth or like that security that I deserved, right? That every kid deserves. I didn't have that, right? So seeking validation from my parents, right? And then, I would be coming of age, middle school, high school, seeking validation from, my teachers and my friends, right? Or, well, let me put that in air quotes, right? Friends, right, that I had. Because, I wanted to feel like I belonged somewhere, right? Always seeking validation, being a people pleaser, right? Doing good in school, being told, oh, you're doing a good job, right? And then, getting older, right? Getting into a relationship, seeking validation from the other person that I'm, seeing, because I didn't respect myself, right? I didn't respect myself. And so I was looking for this external validation. Now, I realize more and more as I am going navigating different relationships in my life, whether it be familial, people that I'm friends with, people that I'm in a relationship, right? The more that I come to respect myself, the more I realize just how much, my perspective of like my position in relationships that I'm in has changed, right? I stopped letting people take so much advantage of me, right? I would find myself not giving into a lot of the same crap that I was before, all because I started really focusing on me and understanding that, I am valuable, right? I am worthy of more than I thought I was, right? And because of that, I'm able to, navigate new relationships, new friendships, relationships, and my relationship with my family a lot better, because I'm not seeking that external validation as much anymore, right? And I still have my moments, because I am human, right? I don't want anyone to forget that, right? If you resonate with this, you are still human. You are allowed to feel, emotions, right? No matter how, like if you see old habits coming up, you are allowed to feel them, right? Whether you feel, sad, or maybe you're mad, or maybe like you feel like some sort of loss, right? I know I still feel like a lot of times actually, I just feel really lost, right? I'm like, dang, like what am I doing, like, for real? Like, what do I even do? Or like, am I even doing all right? Right? I still feel these feelings, but I allow myself to feel them, and then I remind myself that I am worthy of more than I gave myself credit for, right? I don't need this external validation to validate my own presence, right? I don't need people to tell me, I am doing all right, because I know that I'm doing all right within my own being, right? If you want it, like, if you find yourself also experiencing some of the same things, like where you are constantly seeking external validation, right? I challenge you to seek validation from your own being, right? Your own self, right? Seek internal validation, right? What would that mean? Then maybe, building habits that, you enjoy, or doing things that, like, doing or partaking in hobbies that you enjoy, right? Consistently, right? Because you enjoy them, right? And, focusing on qualities that you have that don't pertain to just the physical, right? Focus on, the good stuff about you, whether, your kindness, your empathy, right? How you show up for yourself or how you show up for other people, right? Focus on those qualities, and then you will find yourself feeling more self-validated, right? Instead of looking for other people to validate your emotions or to validate your being or whatever it might be, right? I think for people who maybe have been damaged, right, by other people, or just different circumstances, people who might have been damaged, right, it's hard to find that sense of self-respect, but it is possible. It is possible. You just have to, be willing to do the work, right? Deal with the hand that you've been dealt with, right? You can constantly blame, the world around you, or the different life scenarios that you might have been a part of, right? You can constantly blame those things. But if you look inward, you have to know that all of your problems and all the solutions exist within you, right? And you have the ability to change them, to alchemize them, to change them to something better, to change it from a problem to something much more beautiful than you could have ever imagined, right? From a problem to a lesson, right? From trauma to healing, right? And, I know that I'm very early in this journey that I am in, right? I'm very early. And I know that this is going to be a lifelong thing. I'm never going to be quote unquote healed, right? I don't think that's really possible, right? But what I can do is focus on myself, focus on habits that I like, focus on the people that, like I was saying a couple of days ago, that are reciprocal to my energy, right? Focus on those people, and then I will in turn just build more validation within myself. Instead of looking for validation externally, right? I'll build it internally, which will increase my own self-respect and allow me to just tread this life, this beautiful life that I live, much more beautifully, right? Sorry about that. I got a little sidetrack. Had to put my phone away. But yeah, by building up this self-respect, I'll be able to live my life much more beautifully, right? Go about challenges, facing them head on instead of cowering away from them, and face my own inner demons, right? Instead of letting them control me, right? Yeah. I know this is a lifelong journey, and it's gonna be a lot of trial and tribulation, but that's okay. That's okay. Because the hardest, like the best things are never the easiest, or the things that come the easiest for you. It's the things that you put in the work that are the most rewarding. Yeah. Just wanted to talk about that. I was thinking about it earlier today, and I wanted to bring it to the forefront. I think it's very important for everyone to understand that, you are capable of changing everything in your life, right? No matter what situation, no matter how you feel, no matter what habits you have, right? You are capable of changing it, but it's a matter of realizing it and putting in the work towards it. Only you can be the change that you want to be. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up around here. If you're seeing this, I love you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Make sure to take care of yourself. The only person who can take care of you is you. And always remember, external validation will never be the solution you're looking for. You must validate yourself from within. Have a good one.